needs to read this at any stage.
He will read it.
But he doesn't seem to be interested in.
Brother, he's saying that if there is no evidence of Muhammad in this article, there is no Muhammad. That doesn't make sense.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying.
No, I am saying these are the earliest sources. If you think there are many others, you can provide. But I am saying these are the only ones.
I'm providing and you're not accepting.
Okay, provide. Give me details.
You said there's a British museum that proved that Christianity. I told you there's a Turkish and Egyptian museum that proved these evidence.
Name evidence.
The Turkish museum, there is a...
Turkish museum is evidence?
Yeah. You said the British museum is evidence. You said the British museum is evidence.
Okay, listen to me again. Maybe you have...
Answer my question. You said the British museum is an evidence. You did.
No.
You did report it.
Would you like for me to repeat what I said earlier? The gentleman asked, what are the earliest known writings? And I told him...
He didn't, but yeah, okay, go on.
Fine. Maybe you came later. That's fine.
All right.
And I told him, if he goes to the British Museum here, there are galleries, one for Levant, another for Sumeria, Babylon, and so on. And if you go and check out the artifacts which are in those galleries, those artifacts are given dates by British Museum, and according to them, they say 10,000 BC, earliest of writings. That is what they say.
Yeah.
Those are the details I gave.
No. If it's true or not.
Excuse me, sir. Are you an intelligent man?
I am.
I am trying to say something.
Are you an intelligent man?
Well, I hope to, but I'm trying to say something.
Maybe.
Trying to say something.
Yeah.
Please engage with what I'm saying.
Okay.
And so, to say that I said British Museum is evidence is ridiculous, because I mentioned more details than that. And I'm going to come to you again.
Yeah.
In Turkish Museum, what evidence exists? Please clarify.
What evidence are you looking for? There is
Some evidence, any evidence.
Evidence for what?
he's saying that there is evidence.
But I want to know, what's your interpretation of this?
I'll come to that in a bit, please. I'll come to that in a bit.
That is the evidence, right there.
But exactly, I only think you need to deal with this because these are the earliest inscriptions.
What's your interpretation?
I'll come to that in a bit, please. I know you seem...
Evidence of what?
Evidence that the Prophet Muhammad existed.
Is that what?
He existed.
The Prophet Muhammad.
A historical figure.
So you haven't got an answer.
I have an answer, just wait.
Please do.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Eagerly. No,
10,000 years.
Let him understand.
you think he's going to help you?
Let him understand.
He has been around for many couple of years maybe, and he has been pretty helpless all the way along.
For many couple
And
of
you're going to...
years.
You're going...
And what's
Like
wrong
you
Any
about
evidence?
understand English.
What's wrong about that?
What are
Any
you
evidence?
trying
What's
to
wrong
prove?
about that?
What are you trying
Any evidence? I'll ask the same question to him again.
What are you trying
You
to-
see how clueless he comes across,
What are
yeah?
you trying to prove?
Okay, take
What is the evidence?
open it and
I'll come
go
here.
to CBS. What's your interpretation of
I'll
CBS?
come here in a minute, please. But before that, I want to establish the folly of what is happening
are
here.
you trying
At least you come across as a very intelligent man, and you want to engage with the details,
It's just
which is really noble. I really appreciate. But did you see this gentleman? Did you see this gentleman? He does not want to engage.
Yeah, just so you think you're okay.
I had
What
some bags.
are you trying to
Nathan,
prove? What
Do
are
you know where the
trying
bags
to prove?
went?
Maybe the Holy Ghost took it. The Holy Ghost took it. What are you trying to prove?
I had a couple of bags here, but maybe my wife took them.
I'll give you proof.
Every piece of evidence against him, he wants to destroy it with whatever interpretation.
Shut up!
Hey, one
This
second.
guy's a liar, don't you? You know this guy is a liar, don't you? Yeah, you've seen this video, yeah? You know, basically, you know when he's lying.
Sweetie, did you take the bags from here?
There's lies coming out.
You can't just take it like that without telling me, sweetie. But you need to tell me, because I've been... That's fine, okay, fine. Okay, any evidence?
Yes.
This one is Brother Nathan's. Let me take this also. Sorry. Sorry, thank you, brother. Any evidence? Let me...
In the Turkish museum, there's a Quran that goes all the way back to 100 years ago.
And the Quran talks about Muhammad.
In the Turkish museum.
true Quran
There's one
talks-
here in Birmingham that goes all the way back to the Prophet.
There you go.
The Quran talks about Muhammad. Yeah. What details does the Quran give about Muhammad?
Read it, you should know.
I have read it. I find no details.
Well, then
Not
you're
much.
a liar. Then you are
What
a liar.
details?
Then you are lying.
Then you're a liar.
Is there? Are you willing to present any positive statements?
No.
Clearly, he's as clueless as you are.
You've read the
Gentlemen,
Quran, and you're saying
my
what
dear
does it
friend,
reveal about
excuse me,
Muhammad?
my dear friend, do you
say
see?
nothing?
He's
Clueless
saying
people.
that has no proof of
Very clueless, and they want to remain clueless. I'm asking him. They think Quran gives details about Muhammad. Do you? When you read, are you a Muslim yourself? Yes. When you read the Quran, do you find plenty of details about a historical person called Muhammad? About you, you can understand who he is and so on.
If I give you one detail,
Does the Quran say where Muhammad was born, for example? Does the Quran say who he was married to, for example? Does the Quran say where he lived, for example? None of those details. I'm talking about. You know why?
If you want to say he
You know why?
exist, right?
Yeah, exactly. In other words, my point is not whether the literature called the Quran exists. My point is whether the person called Muhammad exists.
No, okay.
And he is going to the Quran.
You'll say it.
Well, that is proof of the fact that you are clueless. Like this gentleman. Like I told you.
As you are also.
No?
Yes, you are.
Does the text have to say where
Let me read you. Now let maybe come to you.
Listen,
We have established these are clueless people. Now let's go through this. Please come here. What did you want to go through right now?
I taught you some more
does it have to say?
Sabius, please. Let's read. Please, Sabius. Yeah, come on.
You read it.
Okay, what's your name? Muhammad. Okay, Muhammad.
There's proof.
Okay, I'm reading to you from Sabius. At that time,
Historian.
well, you are clue. Excuse me, sir.
About 30 years after the Prophet Muhammad.
All right, clueless, but doesn't want anyone to listen.
Okay.
That's what he does normally.
You have.
At that time, a certain man from along those same sons of Ishmael, whose name was Muhammad, a merchant, as if by God's command, appeared to them as a preacher, the path of truth. He taught them to recognize the God of Abraham, especially because he was learnt and informed in the history of Moses. Now, because the command was from on high, at a single order, they all came together in unity of religion. Abandoning their vain cults, they turned to the living God who had appeared to their father Abraham. So Muhammad legislated for them not to eat carrion, not to drink wine, not to speak falsely, and not to engage in fornication. He said, with an oath, God promised this land to Abraham and his seed after him forever. And he brought about as he promised during that time, while he loved Ishmael. But now you are the sons of Abraham, and God is accomplishing his promise to Abraham and his seed for you. Love sincerely only the God of Abraham, and go and seize the land which God gave to your father Abraham. No one will be able to resist you in battle because God is with you. Anything about Islam? No, don't say okay. Is there anything about Islam here?
Just 1 minute. Did you hear what you read? What's your interpretation?
Excuse me, sir. Are you going to answer my question or not? This.
Are you Muslim?
Anything?
Please, can you read that again to him?
All right.
Please read it again to him.
Did you hear what I said? No. Did you hear what I read?
I heard.
What?
I want someone
Any mention of Islam?
It mentioned. Who did it mention? Let's go.
Any mention of Islam?
Okay. Islam, the word? No. I don't think.
Any mention of the word Muslims? Whether the people follow us Muslims?
No, okay.
So Islam doesn't exist in some of the earliest inscriptions. Don't laugh.
Does it have to mention the word?
Well,
Have to mention the word.
excuse me, sir. Let me put it this way.
You have Muhammad.
Let me put it this way.
Can you read it to this guy?
Let me put it this way. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Who does it talk about?
I'm going to make some simple points.
Anyone can be called Muhammad. An Arabian prophet who was preaching.
I don't think you understand. The Muhammad of the Quran, the specific things about.
Excuse me, sir. Let me ask you.
Say that this information isn't.
Let me ask you this, Muhammad. Muhammad. Let me ask you this very simple question.
I'm talking about his.
You have to basically get a photo picture.
No. I don't think you understand it.
Nathan, 1
I
second.
understand what you're trying to say, but what I'm saying
You don't
is,
understand,
if you read
Muhammad.
this to anyone,
Please, Muhammad.
There's no doubt.
Are you Muslim, sir?
There's no doubt.
You're not,
that-
yeah.
Are you Muslim?
Are you Muslim, sir?
Okay.
So if I
You heard what he read, right? What's your impression of it?
Well, I mean, what I would, does it necessarily need to because it mentions the Abrahamic.
It mentions Muhammad.
I'll
it
get
mentions
into
Arab.
the. Yeah,
It mentions
I'll
You
get.
understand what I'm saying?
Revelation.
I hear what you're saying.
It's from those.
Let me put it this way. I will expound on the details here as to how these details go against Islam. I will expound on that in a bit. But in the meantime,
Like I said, I don't have a dog in this race. But
sure.
You don't have to-
Absolutely.
you don't have to-
But he is a good arbitrator.
What's your
Good.
impression of it?
Would you?
I mean,
Do you know about Islam?
I know a lot about Islam.
You have a firm image. So who would that be talking about? Who do you
We're not
think?
inferring from the
This is written 30 years after the person Muhammad lived. Who do you think is speaking about?
no, it does not. To me, it doesn't.
Everything's inferred.
To me, it doesn't prove either point.
Exactly the point.
It doesn't prove anything.
Exactly the point.
No, this doesn't prove anyone's point.
You see?
Without inferring.
From the outside
Without
looking in, this does not mean
Exactly.
Very, very good. Are you with him?
Or the other.
Are you with him so far?
I'm against him.
Are you with him? Are you against him? Then explain. Explain,
I don't
please.
understand it.
But you wanted him to say what he wanted to say, and he has said what he wanted to say.
give me an alternative.
Explain now.
Give me an alternative.
Why do you contradict him?
I contradict him. Okay, this was written in where is it? In Armenia, right? Around Armenia, because this is an Armenian priest. He was writing at the time of the Islamic conquest, and so what happened? He's writing about a person. Says, at a certain time, there was sons of Ishmael. Who's the sons of Ishmael? Arabs, right? There was.
Don't read in there. Don't read between the lines at all. That's your lie.
Sons of Ishmael.
I don't want your lie. I want to see what the evidence says first.
Okay, there was a person called Muhammad.
But I mean, what you could be arguing, or what you should be saying, is that
That's just one evidence.
it's
Okay, but
but it does in the sense that with Islam they speak of obviously Jesus
It
and
mentioned-
all of the Abrahamic that whole lineage.
You know what the problems are? Problem number one. You as a neutral.
encompassing. So yeah,
It's
equally
mentioned
according
in
to Quran,
Arab.
but it
It mentioned
doesn't
in Arab.
necessarily.
No.
Name Muhammad.
One second. What's your name?
preached,
Sorry.
Who saw revelation come
One
down from
second.
him, who preached, who legislated.
Do you,
Who was that person?
You made
30 years after.
you made a very important point.
But he's saying that unless
One
he
second,
mentions absolutely everything
Excuse me,
in
sir.
detail,
Are you going to
then-
contribute
then-
anything
then
to the
he's not-
discussion?
Then it doesn't mean anything.
Are you going to contribute
Go ahead.
anything meaningful to the discussion?
Go ahead, go.
His only contribution is quibbling, not giving any significant comment
Criteria
to bring to the table.
Crazy.
So now let me come to
No,
you.
you speak to each other.
Like you rightly said, at the outset, from a distance, it seems to be neutral. Not here, not there. But here is my problem. My first problem is list of dated and datable texts mentioning Prophet Muhammad. Clearly, Muslims are presenting this as positive evidence when you rightly clearly said even at the outset it is neutral. It's not positive, it's not negative. So far. You see what I'm saying? But when they present it as if it is positive text, already we have a problem. Now, let me go into the details here. Please note carefully the details. Someone, you live in 21st century. You live in a place where you know of the different religions which are here. If you need to describe him, if you need to describe his religion, what would the name that you would use? His religion. You of course had a brief interaction with him. How would you describe his religion? How would you name his religion? If you need Islam. So you would be very intelligently able to use the term that we use, to refer to it very quickly. In this passage, the writer is struggling to express because look at this. First, one second. He expresses Muhammad and he gives the description a merchant. Wait a second, already a problem. Because if anyone had known Islam at that time, they would have clearly he is trying to record on their behalf because he is giving details of what their religion is and so on. And the description is Muhammad, a merchant. Clearly,